Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm getting a little fatigued of Souls-likes. So when I found out that the Ghost Runner devs are making a first-person Souls-like, I was like, I don't know. But then I played it for an hour. It's pretty good. So here are my big takeaways from Valor Mortis. First off is that its setting is pretty novel. It basically takes place in like Napoleon era France, but then it infuses it with all this sort of like cosmic horror and magic elements that you would like kind of come to expect from, from software in the Souls-like genre. And that genuinely felt very novel. A little silly in some spots, but for the most part, I think it worked really well. Takeaway number 2 is combat, while has all the hallmarks of a Souls-like, also has some pretty cool new stuff. Specifically, you basically get to pick your alternate weapon, and there's a wide variety of them. In the specific demo we had, there was a pistol, which you could use to target certain enemies' weak points, and there was also, you could turn your hand into like a flamethrower, a la Bioshock, and you could use that for like crowd control. That adds an extra little like combat wrinkle that I thought was very satisfying, and seems like there's a lot of cool potential around that. My takeaway number 3 is that, to be honest, I wasn't sure how well first person would work for a Souls game, but playing it, I think it actually works extremely well. The animations feel nice, they feel crunchy, the parry feels good. It reminds me a little bit of arcane games or stuff that like old Starbreeze games made. Like it feels good, and I think it works really well with the genre that it's in. So I got to play an hour-long demo of Valor Mortis. It's basically the opening of the game up into the game's first boss fight. So I got to kind of go through and experience exactly how the game works. You play it as a soldier that wakes up in the middle of this war. He seems to be on the French army, and everyone is dead, and the remains of some of his fellow soldiers have turned into like demons or zombies or something nefarious, and are attacking you, and he doesn't really know why. He also has magical powers now, and if he dies, he revives himself. Souls shit. It's also really funny because like Napoleon actually like talks to you.
I shall lead you towards the most fertile lands on earth.
Like in a voiceover, like he'll like occasionally chime in and like say stuff, like you've got to do this for the Empire. And you're like, okay, I'm intrigued. Where is this going? Am I gonna fight Napoleon as a boss? I hope so. That would be very fun. So as I said, this is a Souls-like. They're very blunt about that. They're not hiding it. And so it has all the things that you would expect from a Souls game. It's first person. You're using sort of like a French sword, cutlass, rapier. I don't know what the specific name of the swords the French used back then, but it's cool. It feels good. There's like a nice like fast swing to it. It's very hefty. If you get hit, you go down in a few swings, so you definitely have to be very like strategic and careful. There's a parry system that you can use that you can kind of stun enemies if you do like a perfect parry. It allows you to get in there and do like what's pretty much an instant kill on most standard enemies. There's also a dodge mechanic because there's certain enemies that do moves that you can't parry. Again, all stuff we're familiar with. Where I think the game is setting itself apart is, one, just the first person itself. It feels really good. I found the change in perspective to be quite refreshing in a way that I didn't think it was gonna actually like work as well as it did, and just like something about changing to first person like makes me just like immediately more engaged and intrigued as somebody who's like getting a little fatigued of Souls games. So I think it's a good choice. The other thing is they do have some new additions and tweaks of their own to the formula. The big one that we got to see was you get these like alternate little side weapons that you can use. So you get a pistol, that feels really hefty. It's a good feeling pistol. And you can shoot enemies' weak points and for just like big, massive like splashes of damage. But you only have like a very limited amount, so you gotta use it strategically. You also get this fire hand that's like very Bioshocky. And then you have like a separate meter that is like your kind of magic, I guess, for lack of a better word. You can use fire to set large groups of enemies on fire, and it's actually like, it takes more than you'd think. Like if you just like hit them like quickly, it doesn't really do much. You really have to like hold the fire for a while to properly catch the enemies on fire. So it's good for large groups, but there is like a risk-reward aspect to it. I quite enjoyed it. I think it had a good feel. And the wheel they had where they showed all the different secondary weapons had a lot of options there, so I'm sure there will be a ton of variety in the full game. The whole thing culminated in a boss fight against this French general. He was a little comical because he's like this big beefy dude who's been like mutated, and he had like 3 like pistols like attached to his like shoulder that he would like shoot. It was a little silly, but it was a cool like, you know, like attack mechanic. I liked that. He was pretty tough. It took me quite a while to get him. I did get him 2 minutes before my demo ended, so I feel pretty good about that. I had a lot of like moments where I got him down to 1 hit, and then I got too sweaty, and I let him get me. And so, you know, like, hey, that's me. That's my fault. But one really cool thing that they're doing is when you die, your souls appear outside the boss arena, which means you can immediately collect them, which is nice. But also, as you like fight the boss and do damage to him and like beat down his health bar, because he was a 2-phase boss, like I'd beat his health bar down and then he would like get a second health bar, you still collect those souls, which means that I was able to actually then go back in between my runs against this boss and like level up still. So it means that you don't have to go back to earlier areas and grind, because as you're fighting the boss, even if you're losing, you're actually still gaining like points that you can then put into your skills to help you out, which I thought was a nice touch and is a good way to avoid that grind. But at the end of the day, it was still a pretty tough challenge that requires your skill to get it done. So I think that's a good addition. I like seeing that. Overall, I was really impressed with Valor Mortis. Like I said, I'm a little fatigued with Souls-like games, but you know what? Then someone just makes a really good one, and I'm like, you got me. I'm back in it, and what I played of this feels like they're doing just enough to differentiate themselves, stand out, that I'm like, you got me. I'll check it out. Video games have come a long way since Pac-Man.